Hi, I'm real life person Yvonnedeculo. Today I'm flying solo as I talk about the final episode of season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race. I am horrendously sick today, as I think RuPaul's makeup artist was in this episode. And since most of the queens in this episode didn't bring their best drag to the final episode, I didn't think I should either. Sorry about it. So this is the music video challenge. We are off the wake of Derek leaving. This episode did have a couple of things that were missing from past episodes as well as past seasons, which I was definitely missing. Those things were, there was no purse first, which that was the very first thing that I noticed was that didn't happen in this episode. We had no lunch with Ru, which I really missed, and we didn't have any visit from Michelle coming in to tell the queens that they were going to be doing a music video. And we missed both of those things. Our top 4 is Kimchi, Bob the Drag Queen, Naomi Smalls, and Chi Chi DeVayne. And if we're looking at this whole thing on like a point scale, Bob is definitely leading the pack with the most wins. Kim is right underneath her, and then we have Naomi right underneath her, and Chi Chi is definitely at the bottom of these 4, and in my opinion is least likely to move on into the final 3 because she's lip-synced 2 times and has only won a single challenge, where Naomi has won 1 challenge and has only lip-synced once. So automatically I'm thinking that Chi Chi's not going to move forward purely based off of this, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything because Pearl and Kennedy had both won the same amount of challenges and had lip-synced the same amount of times, yet it was Kennedy who did not move on into the final 3 and Pearl did. It really all depends on what you can pull out in this final episode. And if it weren't already for the stats pulling Chi Chi behind, her energy in this episode I think really solidified that she wasn't going to have a place in the top 3. I feel like throughout the entire episode she was very low energy. She really seemed like she didn't want to be there. Maybe it was a lack of sleep, maybe it was because they started the episode right off in drag and had to go straight into things, and maybe she just didn't have enough time to get oriented to what she needed to do, but I just really feel like Chi Chi didn't turn it out in this episode. The music video that the queens are working on this season is To the Realness, and the person who does not make it into the top 3 will be edited out of the final cut forever. It's a little brutal, but I like it. I think it is just the worst thing that Darian Lake ever made it into the music video for season 6 because it really should just be the top 3. Like, that should be your prize for getting there. If you don't win that $100,000 and the sickening supply of makeup, you should at least be able to say that you're in one of RuPaul's music videos forever. And being a top 4 doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like, making it to top 3 is the important thing. So we had a couple of different looks. We had the bodyography look for the music video, which I thought was really fun. It was like they were falling into this black hole fantasy, and they had this beautiful chiffon draping off of them. I thought it was so sickening that they had the other queens kind of fan them and play with the chiffon while they sat there. I don't know if I would have had the upper body and core strength to do what they did, so I commend them for being able to turn that out. Then we had an avant-garde scene, which I really don't think any of the queens particularly brought avant-garde except for Kimchi. The judges really raved over Naomi's outfit, but I didn't think that the big popped up collar was quite enough. She looked like herself with a collar. I did not know that Bob could death drop, and I was very impressed because I've seen Bob death drop comedically, but never in a very smooth, professional way, and I was very impressed with that. And I know that they've really been showcasing Naomi's legs this entire season, but it wasn't until this episode that I really appreciated her legs and just like, damn, that bitch has some hooves. She's got those big giraffe legs that go all the way up to heaven, and I'm very jealous of them. Our third and final section of the music video was a drama section where they sat in front of a mirror and had to do really fierce poses, and I feel like Bob really slayed the house down and brought a sense of comedy into it that I just really lived for. And now we get to the runways where the girls are supposed to bring their very best drag. I think that the final look should definitely be something that represents you as a whole, as well as bringing the best thing that you've ever brought to the runway And to be completely honest, I don't think any of them really brought their very best to the runway except for Kim Chi. I thought Bob was serving me some Jasmine Masters and Shakespeare realness. I didn't really care for the outfit. The leggings, I was really just like, that's your best drag? Like, it's quintessentially Bob. But I don't think it was the most creative thing Bob ever brought down the runway. Kim Chi's feather garment was so fierce and couture. I could not stop gagging over it, and especially in Untucked, that you could see the close-up of it and how fierce it was. Chi-Chi's dress looked a lot like what Kennedy Davenport brought in the green runway, and it looked a little bit like a pink version of what she brought to the black and white runway. So it was kind of just like, well, we've seen this before. And I wasn't super impressed with it. I think that she could have brought something better. I mean, I'm trying to shade her, and like, I'm sitting here wearing women's lingerie from Target, so ignore me. And then we had Naomi, who was giving us full Cher fantasy, and I thought she looked really sickening, but again, it wasn't like, is this really your best drag? It's quintessentially Naomi in every sense of the word, but I just didn't think that it was her very best effort. And that's kind of how I feel about all of them, except for Kim Chi. Now we move into the final lip sync. This is the last time that they can ever impress Ru and prove that they deserve to be America's top 3 finalists to be the next drag superstar. And they all provided such a fantastic lip sync. I loved that they did the same choreographed dance move that they talked about in the Untucked. When I saw it in the episode, I was like, why did they all do that? Did they learn that? Because there was no choreography in the music video, so there's no way that they could have learned that ahead of time to do that. So I liked that they talked about it in the Untucked, and it made so much more sense, because that was the first thing that I noticed when they started lip syncing, is that they made a big deal about them all doing that choreographed motion. And I was like, what? What is that? So I appreciated that, and I appreciated that it showed the strong sisterhood that these girls all have, and how close-knit they all are. And I think it's really nice to see a top 4 that was not bound by a shady character like we had with season 7 with Kennedy, with season 6 with Darian, with season 5 with Roxy, with season 4 with Fifi. It was just nice to see a top 4 that really loves and respects each other. And I would have been happy with any of them making it to the top 3. I think that I would have personally rather seen Chi-Chi up in the top 3, but again, point-wise, she just did not stack up to the others. Also, we did have a season 7 moment where they all talked to pictures of their younger selves, and I thought that Kim Chi's message was so heartfelt. She seemed so polished and perfect, and it's nice to see some of that humanity in there, that she's not just this fierce, glamorous diva, that there is a heart there. I didn't think that Chi-Chi's message was very polished. I thought it seemed very like, well, yeah, I'm here, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I guess I can do this thing too. So, I mean, I should be there because, like, I can do all those things. It was very humdrum. I understand why she didn't make it into top 3. I don't know who I would have replaced her with, because I really do love Bob. I really love Kim Chi. Naomi is growing on me because I do think she's very fierce, but I do think that overall Chi-Chi has had a lot of growth. And I think that it's very evident that somebody in the producing side loves her, because she had that fantastic tribute in Untucked that I have never seen any queen get in their time on RuPaul's Drag Race. So next week there's no countdown to the crown. We do have DragCon, and premiering on TV is going to be Bianca Del Rio's Rolodex of Hate, which I think is very exciting. I am considering doing my own kind of countdown to the crown thing. We'll see what happens. Anybody who's going to be at DragCon, please let me know. I'll be posting so many freaking pictures on Instagram. If you happen to see me, please say hi. I would love to meet you. I would love to shake your hand, suck your dick. I charge $20 an hour. What team are you? Are you Team Bob? Are you Team Kim Chi? Or are you Team Naomi? I personally am all for a double crowning this season, and I would love to see Bob and Kim Chi both get crowned, because I think Bob represents this very strong side of what drag essentially at its core is. It's this irreverent, it's funny, and I think that Bob represents that comedy, and I think that Kim represents the future of what drag could be, and Kim has this amazing skill that I think she really could transform what drag is, and I think that both of them together would have such a strong reigning. And it's been such a monumentous season with it being 100 queens, 100 episodes. I really think that it's time for something else huge. A double crowning, I think, is totally called for this season. So I am team Kim Bob Chi, the drag queen. Let me know what team you are in the comments below. Make sure to vote for Miss Congeniality, as well as who you think should be the winner of America's Next Drag Superstar. Thank you so much for keeping up with all of our episodes this whole season. We appreciate you, we appreciate your comments. That's it for this episode. We will definitely be joining you for the reunion. We will also be there too, so we will be given some backstage tea after we watch the show. So thank you so much for watching. We will be back whether you like it or not. Say goodbye to her. I think that you should compliment me because I'm insecure and I need affirmation of my beauty.